And welcome back to the Correspondents on Voice of America. I'm Arcega in Washington. The International Criminal Court in The Hague has been rocked by a series of defections by several African countries that were among the original signatories of the International Tribunal. Now, Russia has also withdrawn from the ICC treaty, and other countries could be next. Here's VOA's Henry Ridgewell now from London.
3 African states, Burundi, South Africa and Gambia, signalled their intention to quit the International Criminal Court this year, claiming the court disproportionately targets African leaders. Russian President Vladimir Putin removed his country's signature from the founding treaty this week, though it had never ratified its membership. His Philippine counterpart said Thursday he might follow Moscow's lead.
They are useless, those in the International Criminal Court. Russia withdrew from the membership.
I might follow.
In the face of such fierce criticism, the ICC's chief prosecutor has defended the court's actions.
We should be more concerned about ensuring accountability and justice for these very serious atrocity crimes.
And while some African countries plan to quit, others have engaged more directly with the ICC.
And joining us now to discuss the future of the International Criminal Court, we are joined on Skype by VOA's Daniel Schearf from our Moscow bureau. And I'm joined right here in Washington by international broadcaster Frederic Nkundikije from VOA's Central Africa Service. I thank you both for joining us. Frederic, I'm going to start with you. So what we know is Burundi, South Africa, and Gambia have basically removed themselves. They were original founding members of the ICC. Why are they now questioning the legitimacy of this court?
Those countries have actually given different reasons for withdrawal.
Everybody has their own reasons.
Yes.
So you're from Burundi.
Yes, I am.
What's Burundi's reason?
Burundi is saying basically that the ICC has violated the agreement of sovereignty and also a partnership. According to Burundian officials, the ICC should have worked with the local courts in Burundi.
So their complaint is they're not doing their job properly?
Yeah, among other reasons, yes.
Okay.
But the main reason for so many African countries leaving ICC is they say that they look at ICC as a court which was set up to prosecute Africans.
A little bit of bias there, right? So I want to get Daniel into this conversation because, Daniel, Russia is not even officially among the signatories of this ICC, but is Russia's withdrawal perhaps symbolic, or is it a preemptive move against any, I don't know, future action by the ICC for the 2014 invasion, perhaps, of Ukraine?
Well, it is or was a signatory, but so that did not make it agreeing to be part of the International Criminal Court's jurisdiction. Of course, there's a lot of speculation that Russia may have been pulling away support for the ICC because away from any possible future support or membership as a ratified member because of some of the cases that are coming up. Although, of course, as you've been discussing, a lot of the only cases that have actually gone to trial have been in African nations at the beginning of this year. There's also the Georgia-Russia conflict that's going to be that's being investigated. They just announced at the beginning of this year, and of course, the ongoing conflict in Ukraine is another one that just came up just a day before. Putin announced that President Putin announced that they were going to be pulling away their support and they would not be ratifying into the ICC. So certainly Russia is trying to send a very clear signal. They are not happy with the ICC's the way it's been handling things, and according to their official statements, they also see it as a very one-sided, politically biased organization.
Yeah, a little bit of coalition building, perhaps. And Daniel, we have a little bit of audio problems there, so I'm going to ask the control room perhaps to sort of check that out. But Frederic, I guess my question to you is, can the ICC still prosecute crimes against a country's government if they withdraw their support for the ICC? So if Burundi were to step away, could the ICC still step forward and say, Burundi, you're responsible for these crimes against humanity, therefore we charge you with whatever.
Yes, according to the Rome Treaty, even if a country withdraws, it takes one year to be able to, the ICC could still prosecute a country 1 year after.
So they still have that power?
Withdrawn. Yes.
But I guess what happens now, though, is it could be, I don't know, an atrophying that's going on here. There's other countries that have suggested they may also do the same thing. What impact would that have to the effectiveness of an international criminal court, for example?
Yeah, so many leaders believe that it's not going to go to that point. There are so many efforts now underway where even African leaders are trying to urge AU to actually talk to the leaders, to urge them to stay within,
So there's an
within the
active canvassing right now to lobbying effort to...
Yes, there was today, for example, a group of experts who met with the East African Community Court, and they had a retreat for 2 days.
Right.
After the retreat.
And this is what they're talking about,
yes,
right?
they recommended that leaders talk to AU in order to avoid this mass exit that we have observed.
Right. Let's get Daniel back in here. Daniel, I guess sort of the same question. Does Russia think that it is immune from prosecution if they say they are going to pull away from the ICC? What is the reasoning behind that?
Well, because Russia never actually ratified its signature for the Rome Statute, it was not subject to the jurisdiction of the ICC. But of course, if any Russians were to be prosecuted, were to be on members of the ICC on their territory, for example, in Ukraine or in Syria, if they were taken to the ICC for war crimes charges or crimes against humanity, then they could certainly still be prosecuted if they're on those territories. The question is whether, if anyone on Russia's territory would be brought to the court, would Russia cooperate? Would the Kremlin cooperate? And I think they've sent a very clear signal that the answer is no at this point.
I've been told to wrap up, Frederic, but just one more question. Is there any truth to the claims that the ICC is essentially biased and targets smaller African countries?
That is the perception most African countries have.
Is it true?
I'm not sure that is true, but it is, perception could be the reality.
All right, well, keep us posted on any future reports. It's an important issue. Thank you so much, Frederic, and thank you so much, Daniel. We're going to take one last break, but when we come back, South Korea's president facing possible impeachment over an influence peddling scandal. And just a reminder, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts, questions, and comments on our Facebook page. The address is VOA The Correspondents. We'll be right back.